Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week we're doing the movie Debt, and we bring you movie news. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
Ryan Preston, and
Nope.
the old guy went somewhere. So anybody have what this movie's about?
Yeah, I think I do. Well, according to IMDb, anyways. In 1965, three Mossad agents crossed into East Berlin to apprehend a notorious Nazi war criminal.
Ooh.
30 years later, the secrets the agents share come back to haunt them.
Ah.
Anyway.
I
You
gotta
know-
say, oh, Ryan, you first.
You know what? I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump in and say that I was really kind of glad that I just basically got the text like, oh, this is the movie we're watching. I'm like, oh, okay, The Debt. Okay. And for like a week and a half, I didn't think anything of it, and then I remembered, oh, okay, we're gonna do this tomorrow. Let me watch this movie, and I'm gonna, since I don't know anything about it, I was gonna force my girlfriend to as well. And I decided, okay, I'm not gonna look up IMDb or anything like that. I don't want to see a trailer. I'm just gonna go into this cold. And I'm really happy I did, because I mean, it's pretty rare that I do that these days. It's pretty rare that anybody does that these days. And I mean, it was a really gripping story, and I think it feels probably kind of slow to some people, but I think of it as like a kind of a fast-paced character study almost.
I gotta say, for me, this movie had an amazing ability to know when it was enough, because I thought this movie was kind of slow. Like, parts to me would feel like, oh, this is going to drag on, then it would change, or something would happen. And I actually thought this movie had a great balance for that, which I think is
I
rare.
agree. Yeah, I kind of did the same thing with Ryan did back in like 2011, 2012, and I found it on Redbox, and that's kind of like what I usually have been using recently, is just going cold, because even if you try it on Netflix or something, you kind of, even if you're trying to go quick, you'll still get the description of something on it. You're like,
And for the record, that's what we all used to do. We used to just look at cover boxes at the video store and be like,
yeah, so Redbox has now become kind of like that.
And that's how Ryan saw the Beastmaster.
No, you
It
actually
was.
forced him to watch it. Anyways, this is. I think it's a really fantastic story. This one, you don't really see many films kind of like this, where it's a little bit mix of like James Bondish, but it's got enough truth behind it to get you involved, because audience people out there may not know, but actually the Nazis did have a lot of war criminals that escaped. Joseph Mengele, which is the
yeah, Joseph Engel was who the story was based on.
Yeah, that's who it was based on. And in the beginning, when she's actually in the room with the surgeon of Burkhoff.
Burkhoff.
Yes, Burkhoff. And she's talking about Buenos Aires and that type of thing. That's a lot where the Nazis actually, the war criminals, ran off to.
Mm-hmm.
They went to South America.
Ryan?
And what's his name? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry.
Yellow. Sorry. No, I was gonna say, what's his name when he was older, when they're in the theater and he's talking, he's like, I've been traveling Mexico, South America. That's where all the Nazi war criminals fled to. And I mean, a lot of Germans actually, even before the war, went to Mexico and pretty much, set up a shop, which is why you can go to the north of Mexico and see German architecture. It's kind of strange. But it was kind of a place where they can blend in. South America, Argentina, you had basically, what appeared to be just white folks, and they can just kind of be the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy down the street.
Yeah, and they were wandering around, and there were many, I can't emphasize, many Mossad agents who went to South America and kind of secretly deported a lot of Nazi war criminals and actually held these trials. This is a very based on the true story, and so I was looking at it to see just kind of how much they actually were
loosely based on.
Loosely basing it on. And one of the articles I actually stumbled across was actually pretty funny. And her thing was, this is not how it happened, because Mossad agents don't make mistakes. That's really what she wrote in her article. And they generally, I don't know of any real mistakes that have ever been leaked, but I'm sure they did make a few tiny mistakes here and there.
Everybody makes mistakes. The question is whether, it's just like the CIA. It's never reported.
But what they say,
everybody's got that kind of bravado.
Yeah, but they say about Mossad agents is they have always gotten their man. And
they're
what I've heard,
old calculating bunch.
Well,
yeah.
they always get somebody. It's not necessarily the man. The other thing I would say is the fact that it's Mossad agents, which I don't remember a whole lot of movies that have Mossad agents.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess it's like the Israeli version of the CIA or
this
something.
This one in Munich, the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is the only one that I've ever seen. And I want to give. What were you saying? Oh, Munich. Yeah, you did mention music. Where is she? Hold on, I want to pull up this girl's name. There it is. Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, Jessica Chastain. Yeah.
I have to give mad props to her. She actually went out and did a bit of character acting and studied Krav Maga for 4 months. Hardcore Krav Maga for 4 months. And that's something to say. Some of you guys may not know.
I've looked up Krav Maga and I'm a huge fan of martial arts and things and I've wanted to see, especially, you hear special forces kind of stuff. It's basically the art of getting your ass kicked until they can't kick your ass anymore. And you're just too good,
To actually,
but I mean, it's one of the most brutal training sequences I've ever seen.
The actual to graduate to become a Mossad agent, from what I understand, it may have changed, at least 5 years ago. To graduate to become a Mossad agent that actually is Krav Maga, you actually have to defend yourself against 20 Krav Maga people who have already graduated. You have to successfully defend yourself for a certain amount of time.
So that's basically
I think it's 5 minutes.
So it's like blood in, blood out.
Yeah, and it's developed off of street fighting, wrestling, and boxing. And it was actually put together by Hungarian-Israeli martial artist Imi Lichtenfeld. I'm probably mispronouncing the first name. I think it's Imi or something. And that's actually the guy that I was watching talking about it. And the dude was amazing. I think he's dead now, but I was watching him actually training some guys, and he would walk up and literally come straight on top of this guy almost as hard as he could, stop a few inches away from the guy's face, and the guy was a statue. It's like, if you do that to me, I'm actually gonna accidentally defend myself and end up on the ground.
So I gotta say though, to get back to the movie, I actually really loved the cast. I mean, it had Jasper Christensen playing the doctor. Got Martin Kosakis. I'm gonna butcher everybody.
Why don't you just say this guy, and this guy?
This cast. This
Helen
cast.
Mirren, Tom Wilkinson. I mean, those. I mean, that's a murderer's row of amazing
Sam Worthington,
actors.
yeah. This movie was all-star cast.
What's his young face? Sam Worthington was a great.
Yeah. The guy that I really didn't know was the director, and I have not seen any of his other films.
You never saw Shakespeare in Love?
No, I can't say I have. I've known about it. I just haven't sat down and watched it. Sorry. Hello.
Ryan,
it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I've heard it was. I just haven't sat down and watched it. It's not something I really go into, is some of those types of movies. But, it's been one that I've thought about watching a few times. I just haven't done it.
Some of these look vaguely familiar, and I don't know if it's because I saw them or if it's one of the things like, in the movie store. Nah.
Yeah. I think I did that a couple times with Shakespeare in Love a while back. But, I picked up Redneck Zombies after it, whatever. But yeah, Sam Worthington, I gotta say, I think he was actually one of my favorite actors in this one.
He did a really good job in this movie, and I was really surprised. I thought him and the older character he played, because I thought they were pretty well. I thought, the characters don't change, because sometimes, you have a young character and an old character, and they're different. I thought this one did very well in kind of tying the two together. Obviously, the older one had, some more baggage.
Now, one of the things I want to throw out to see what you guys kind of thought is, what did you guys think of the back and forth, the time travel?
I liked it, actually.
I really liked it. I thought it was a great little way to sort of move the story along, kind of going through the parallels of what she's going through in her life, kind of recounting the story, somebody giving her praise for something specific and then going right back to that moment. I thought it was a really good gimmick,
And I really loved the other thing I really loved about that about this was the language, because when it went back in time, you had German and then it would switch to English. And I love how you would differentiate between the Mossad agent's character and the real character.
Yeah.
I actually really liked that.
Not only was it authentic, but it actually played a part in the story when they realized, oh shit, he speaks English. But it is those kinds of attentions to detail that will grab you into a story, especially something like this. Like, I mean, it's kind of a character study as well as, this sort of spy thriller,
Yeah, and especially back, this being in like the 60s during the Cold War and in that side of Berlin,
Yeah.
That is such.
And then juxtaposed with 1997, it's kind of a really cool time frame that they work with. That particular part of the past and then that particular part of the future.
And it's such a.
The one thing I will say about the casting though is, although I loved everybody's performance, the only ones that seemed really like really similar. I mean, everybody kind of kept their accents and things like that between the pair of people, but Helen Mirren and Jessica Chastain, there was a cut in the show when she was standing talking to what's his character's name,
Sam Worthington,
David, I think. Yeah, David, the guy that was in love with her but then left.
Yeah.
The scene when he leaves like back in the 60s, and she's standing there, it cuts right to Helen Mirren. And I mean, it was kind of a striking resemblance. I mean, it was a testament to kind of the makeup, the lighting and all the stuff and aging Helen Mirren the way that they did. Because Helen Mirren does not look that old.
No.
So I really, really liked the casting for them. The other ones were a little bit like, okay, that just looks nothing like him. Okay, good thing you told me his name.
I felt that.
Because Sam Worthington and
I'd say, but the other guy, the guy who played David.
Right, I was gonna say the Davids didn't really match.
That's why I think it was. I thought they did a good job on the character, because at least tidbits of each character transferred. Because otherwise, you're like, who the hell is this?
Yeah. And how did you guys like the way that he walked into traffic?
Man, that was
awesome.
Man, that was that came out of nowhere because I'm still trying to understand what's happening in the story. I'm like, okay, this guy's an agent. This lady wrote a book. Oh, that guy just stepped in front of a train or a bus. You know what I do want to say though.
And the tire went over his head too, by the way. People.
Yes, he got decapitated. Like he really
he
needed.
sure did.
Like getting run over a bus doesn't kill you.
Go on, sorry.
But what do you call it? I really, really enjoyed the ending. I thought it ended in such a perfect place to not tie a pretty bow on it, to just, okay, there is no hero kind of riding off into the sunset other than, this chick. But then, like it, basically telling any more of the story, you would have gone into a whole nother movie or a whole nother.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of
act of a movie, and
I was kind of surprised by that because a couple of scenes before she was talking about her daughter and how if the truth gets out, it's going to ruin her daughter. And I actually was really surprised, and I'm glad they did that because it has a more sense of realism and kind of last minute guilt.
I think you're able to really infer what happens after that. They've given you the information where you can kind of extrapolate without having some weird crazy fan theory about it. Okay. Will probably happen like this.
The one that always kind of threw me a little bit off is when Tom Wilkinson and they're sitting at the beach, right? And they're talking about being punished for lying about the past. And they just kind of throw in that he got paralyzed because of a car bomb. I always thought the wheelchair thing, I mean, if this was maybe a book or something, I'd understand that, I guess, plot motivator better, but it was just kind of a strange twist just to throw him in a wheelchair all of a sudden. That was something that I was kind of like...
See, I didn't even think that is a plot motivator.
You know what I think it was?
It's probably because I've watched it more than once.
I honestly thought
it was
the wheelchair
just
was...
kind of a convenient... convenient way to explain why he couldn't go on this mission and why it had to be Helen Mirren.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
It was
kind of really what it was, and it's for me as well. But I was thinking it was kind of, he was the one who was pushing the lie.
no, and I
Right.
just and it, I
But
don't his character. I don't know. I just thought it was she was a better character. He was kind of a lame character, and I don't even call it a plot motivator. It was just I just don't think they had a choice story wise.
He could have been run over by a bus too. It could have been
I don't know. It makes it. I think it makes more sense having the guy who told the lie, unable to go away and do it himself. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see
The
that.
wheelchair
but
thing was just stupid.
it would seem a little bit of overkill to me or something. Give him a limp. Make him miss a leg or something.
You mean like having your head run over by a tire is an overkill?
No, it's better than missing. He
Tomato,
needed to make
tomato.
sure.
I
he
think
didn't
they were just doing it. But no, I really think it was just kind of a poetic
Convenience.
thing, with Helen Mirren's character, and that was just the, I'm sure they might even. I could see somebody talking about it like, okay, well, why wouldn't he do it? Well, let's put him in a wheelchair.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like if it wasn't based on a book or something, and they actually had in the book, he got blown up, or car bomb blew up and took his spine out or something. I don't know.
I do, however,
Piece of
wish they.
shrapnel.
Once he said that though, I wanted to see like a flashback, boom, or something.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they've been doing flashbacks the whole time, so it's like, what's one little car bomb flashback?
Yeah.
Please, I mean, come on.
That's what I was kind of always thought. Just throwing in that it was a car bomb, and I'm still thinking like, okay, that was a really poorly made car bomb. Maybe it was 10 feet back, 20 feet back.
Maybe it was just a really well-made car.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. It was just kind of like I thought those Pakistanis did pretty good with car bombs.
I gotta say, have anybody of you looked at the IMDb app? But it says ones that it are like this or more like this.
Oh, actually, I didn't go down that far, but
It's actually pretty funny because you've got the Texas. Well, what is it? It's the Texas killing fields, and the other one is the innocent sleep. I love IMDb's inability to actually match ones that are close.
well, they have Helen Mirren and the Queen.
See, and that's the kind of the dots that they connect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about like oh, I'm into spy thrillers, or character studies,
Well, to me, that would be
It's-
more interesting. I would, hey, this movie's a spy, like a character study. How about you gonna like this instead of this one has Sam Worthington?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's another movie that this guy did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I actually really enjoyed this film. I think it was really well done. I think that people were kind of saying that it got dumbed down a little bit because this was a remake.
It was a remake of an Israeli movie from
Yes.
what, like mid 2000, like early 2000s,
Yeah,
05,
I think it
something
was
like that.
I think it was around there.
That makes a lot of sense. There's a little bit more context. I'm sorry, I didn't really have time to do a whole lot of looking.
That's okay. But
that makes a lot of sense because there's a little bit here that seems like they tried to give Western audiences a little bit more information, if that makes sense. I don't know. It just felt a little bit heavy-handed parts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually
Well,
trying to see
It was
because
very. I mean, you can tell it was a very personal kind of story, this revisionist history kind of thing for whoever wrote it, and I mean, it would stand to reason that they're from Israel or
yeah,
had that a pass to it. But I mean, I thought it was a great adaptation. I mean, if nothing else, other than if not an original story, usually based off of a book, you have a lot more material than you need, so you end up kind of cutting it down and trimming out fatty parts and exposition, and you try to tell that through visuals. Getting it from another screenplay, you're still trying to kind of make it your own and tell the larger story. And for American audiences, I thought it was great while still kind of having this foreign movie feeling to it.
yeah. I haven't seen the original,
I want to see it after seeing this.
but
really
from what
makes
I
me wanna see it.
understand, the only differences was the cast, and he said that the sets were a lot more well done since it went to Hollywood. But there was really no change to the story, the way that it was told or the sequences involved. So,
So
they
what
said
about
it was pretty close to it.
what
I
about
can't
the-
remember the name of it.
See,
Though.
the one I'm always interested
like
is
Mia Mia or
is the
something.
feeling, because I always think when you transfer, like, like an Israeli movie or an Eastern movie or whatever to America, you lose some of the feeling of the movie.
Yeah, they
You
kind of
look
did
at
that
the
with Old
principle,
Boy, one that we already did, Let the Right One In,
Mhm.
which we didn't watch the remake, people. And also, what was the other one? The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They Hollywoodized those movies, and those are the really well-known ones. They've done a lot more than those. But from what I understood from reading a few different reviews on both of them, because like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I kind of do, but I don't really want to watch that much subtitle.
What
Like it right now.
what about what were you gonna say, Ryan?
I totally forgot.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just kind of tagging up James's point. I mean, it's really just kind of you lose this sort of personal feeling, from the local point of view, from the local story, from the local writer. It's got like the local personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have an Israeli person, from Israel telling an Israeli story. I mean, it's something usually rings a little more true when it's like that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, totally. Because I would say it was when you're watching a foreign film, you're kind of seeing it as on the outside in. Is when it's made in America, it's basically on the inside out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I
Because
guess.
that's one of the reasons I like foreign films and not the remakes, is because you have a tendency to see it as you're supposed to as an outsider, as you guys said. So, James, what do you give this movie?
I think I think if I was just to take it straight out, I think I would actually give this one a 5.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of stuff in this one that is really well done. I like the fact that that the actors actually took the time to learn Krav Maga.
True.
I mean, they actually were really showing that when they're in the room, and even when they're working out their frustrations, and that
Beating
they're
the tar out of each
sparring and literally beating the crap out of each other. That's how it was. That's how Krav Maga is. And I think from knowing, the Jewish Nazi hunter history, I think it's actually very pleasant to see somebody actually telling that story. Again, yeah, Mossad agents don't make that many mistakes, but you don't know. They haven't told you.
You actually just reminded me of the one thing I wanted to see. Is I was actually kind of bummed she didn't inject them, because this goes back to what he was saying earlier in the movie. Far as you Jews just can't do this. You have no
Yeah.
follow through, and I got
And
the
when
reason.
they pushed that part, when he really pushed that button, that was really good. I thought
Oh,
that was
he
really
got his
well
ass
done.
handed to him. I mean, I understand why they didn't, because they're trying to show that she was the better person. But as at the end of this movie, I was like, just kill the bastard. That was,
Yeah.
So I give this a 4 out of 5. I mean, I really like this movie. Not enough to get a 5 out of 5, but I definitely like the movie. I'm kind of curious if I ever get time to watch the original. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean it's not a perfect movie. I mean it has its little flaws here and there, but it's a really good story that I think was told pretty well. Again, even knowing where it came from, and knowing that Hollywood likes to make things like Hollywood. But
Yeah.
you have Tom Wilkinson and Helen Mirren and
Sam Worthington.
what's her name, Chastain. I mean, it was such a good cast that knew how to play it out. I mean, it's a solid for it.
Oh, okay. No, totally. So to let you know is we do have a Facebook page. You love us, hate us. Hey, do you think we suck?
care.
We'll read you on air. How about pause for the cause so we can be like Accord Mortels and leave the light on for you? As you stepped on my joke the last week we did this.
Okay.
Bastard. So, you got news?
Yeah, I do. So, let's go and time travel in Ryan's little life over here. Now, 9 years ago,
He was
there was a
12.
last episode of a show that Ryan really got me into, and I completely enjoyed it. And it's got one of my favorite actors, Timothy Oliphant, and also Ian McShane. Now, Ryan, can you answer what movie that or what show that was?
was the last episode.
Yeah, 9 years ago, this month, the last episode of this show aired. It's got Timothy Oliphant and Ian McShane starring.
Ian McShane. I'm trying to put a face to the name that I know of Ian McShane, but are we talking Deadwood?
Yes, we are. Now they are going to actually do a movie.
Oh fuck, man! Oh
Now,
shit!
where in the timeline of Deadwood is it?
That's what I'm curious about. This is actually really fresh news. This is only a couple hours ago.
Oh
As
man,
of today.
Because I'm
I
curious.
don't even know how to react to this.
Right now, this is one that I'm just kind of like, oh man, they could do this
so
really
long.
well. They could do this really well or really bad.
I mean, or they could just break hearts, dude. I mean, it's like we have this image of this perfect girl in our minds that left us when we were at like our most vulnerable, and now we hear that she's coming back into town, you know, and that she's single.
Is your girlfriend back there?
I was about to ask that.
Now,
Hyperbole much?
No, I'm just saying like cosmically, that's what it.
now
But,
it's now this is based on an interview with David Milk, which is one of the main writers of Deadwood. He also is credited to Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blues, so he's got some good shows under his belt.
Hillster? I don't know. About Hillster.
Well, I'm saying, not the best ones, but NYPD Blue and Deadwood are really good. I just trying to throw ones that you've actually known.
Yeah,
But I would like to see it. Now I'm kind of wondering, like, are they sure they want to do a Western? When was the last Western that was released?
on what? Like
real
theaters?
Western.
like a movie or
Not
show.
like Shanghai Noon.
Open range?
Yes.
Yeah, True Grit.
True Grit
well,
and Open Range.
I'm
Really,
not sure
that's it
would
that I can
True
think of.
Grit count because it's almost like a 1-to-1 copy. I mean, granted, it's still
Yeah,
a
it
Western,
really
but it's
was,
not
but-
100% of original like I think Open Range was.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. I mean, somebody made a modern Western.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but,
I'll succeed the point to you. Just
I mean, Deadwood is really the only,
They're
Western
already
show besides
making-
Hell on
yeah.
Wheels, and there was another one too.
oh yeah, that's right. Hell on Wheels is a Western.
There was another one, and I'm missing it. Ryan, do you know?
Western TV show.
Yeah.
Not Jericho wasn't really a Western.
No, it really wasn't.
So
Anyways, that's
I
the only thing I think of is
I got a piece of movie news if you have a chance.
All right. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited to see if they do a good job on Deadwood.
I'm really. I'm kind of holding my breath, man. Like, I mean, a lot of fans' view of that show kind of hangs in the balance.
I wonder if the
I mean, it could really go down.
Now, I have a question for you, Ryan.
Sorry, go ahead.
And James. My question would be, if they did kind of the Firefly thing, where it was so many years in the future to justify their age type of thing, would that still fit with the last episode of Deadwood?
See, that's the thing is, I mean, it ran so linear. I mean, obviously, movies are going to follow a different timeline because it's a different type of narrative. You can't do the day to day. You have to kind of go back and forth or
Yeah.
But if they did say like 5 years in the future or 2 years or something,
I
what do you
mean,
think?
they could make them look like they did in the show. That's within the realm of possibility. But how much do they need to? I mean, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered because it's been almost a decade.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
because Timothy Oliphant has got like literally gray hair going on, and he didn't in Deadwood. And then you got Ian McShane, who, I mean, he was born 1942, guys.
yeah. But he looked kind of like an old man then too,
Yeah, but not really. He was still pretty spry, though. I mean, come on.
Oh, for sure.
For his age, he was really spry in the
For him.
show.
So I'm going to switch.
And he's got one of the most distinctive voices, too.
So I'm
Love
gonna,
I'm just saying,
so I wanna-
James,
yeah.
kidney stones
so I want
might have
to.
been one of my favorite just television moments ever.
So I want to switch, change movie news because I actually have something that I was kind of excited and it is posted on the Real Flix Reviews Facebook page.
Oh yes, I did see this.
Is will Gene Wilder come out of retirement for Steven Spielberg? The last time, according to this article, he was on any sort of film, TV otherwise, was 2003 episode of Will and Grace. I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan of Gene Wilder. You could pretty much have him read the dictionary, and I'd watch it. So
That might actually be interesting.
I really, really want him to do this. Even if the movie sucks, I'm still going to see it primarily just for Gene Wilder.
Well, look, I think
Hello?
that he realized. I mean, he has to realize. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello.
sorry, you died. You shut off real quick. What were you saying?
That's all right. No, I was gonna say. I mean, I think Gene Wilder has to realize how what his legacy is already. You know what I mean? And that people have nothing but the utmost respect for him and his entire career, and think he's nothing but the best. That I mean, he's got to miss actually making a movie. You know what I mean? That had to be fun. You know, I mean, he comes from the almost the golden age. You know, making movies with Mel Brooks back in the day. You know, just old school funny slapstick.
I still want History of the World
Part
finished.
In all honesty, I could actually see him not like making movies now, because it doesn't seem like, especially with Mel Brooks, when I bet you could
And
get
Hot
away.
Tub Time Machine, really?
When you could get away with so much more of playing around, and I don't know, I could see if modern movies not really fit his style of doing things.
Look, at the same time, I can see everybody on that set, Steven Spielberg included, making that guy be the most comfortable person that's ever been on a movie set.
Oh yeah,
You know?
because if you retired him, like really, I'm done with filmmaking type, your career would pretty much be dead. Especially because all the Gene Wilder fans would guarantee to pick it or bitch.
So I mean, Gene Wilder wouldn't come out and be like, "These people treated me like shit." I mean, he's just not that type of person. But like I said, I mean, I think he has enough of a legacy in this business and respect in the town that everybody would be just so thrilled for him to be back.
Oh yeah.
They would do whatever he wanted. I mean, he'd be pampered the entire time. I'm not worried about him being uncomfortable with the modern way of making movies.
I mean, Gene Wilder has really done some of my all-time favorite comedies. I mean,
I still love him as Willy Wonka. That role by itself to me is
that is like the best Willy Wonka there is. And I mean, Johnny
Well,
Depp,
Johnny
you're
Depp
good and all,
there
but you're not Gene Wilder.
no.
I mean, they don't make memes out of you. Sorry.
They do, but it's not for that role.
Not for that role. They only do it for the one that you're known for now. Pirates.
People. The other thing is, before we're coming up to the end, I don't know if James has anything, but something I'm kind of excited to see.
I talked about this a little while
Did you?
ago, that Mel Gibson was coming out. Yeah.
He's going to be directing a new movie in Australia.
Oh, not Australia. Don't do Australia, dude. That movie sucked.
And then there's a bunch of information about the new Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight, which I guess is supposed to be filmed on 70 millimeter, which is huge film stock.
I mean, they're. I swear to God, I mean, he's single-handedly keeping film in business. I'm
probably
sure
giving it to him for free.
No.
They're just saying, hey,
Not-
you know your movie, the one that you did.
Not
with,
70 millimeter,
We're giving all this stuff away.
35 millimeter maybe, not
Kidding,
70
I'm
millimeter.
kidding.
They probably had to make it.
I'm trying to make you guys get all beat red. I mean, Ryan
look.
completely is.
The disembodied voice.
He's not wearing any pants.
What were you saying, Ryan?
Why would I need to? No, I was saying that like he loves the art form so much of making movies on film that like he I think he enjoys keeping those people in business. Those film manufacturers.
I want to see him making an entire movie in rotoscope.
Why?
I don't know.
You're
Just
gonna
'cause.
just what you want. Oh, I could see it.
Do I need
too.
to speak louder? Are you wearing a towel?
That sounds horrible, by the way. Going to make everybody have an acid flashback who never did it. It's like the Lord of the Rings cartoon over again. Oh,
That's not even funny on
Actually,
acid.
thinking Cool World version.
Oh, jeez. You're welcome, by the way, Ryan.
oh.
I swear. I was blissfully ignorant of that movie's existence until you friggin' came along.
So one of these days, one of us is going to pick Cool World.
No.
And
I've seen it twice. That's enough.
and
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I've actually heard people defend
I know.
Please, I know we have.
Wait,
about
wait,
4.5
hold on,
minutes
hold on.
watching this.
Time out. You can defend Cruel World?
No,
Try.
I've actually seen people saying, well, not saying it's a good movie, but like 5-star reviews or whatever the hell
Five,
for Cool World.
five.
If there's anybody out there that actually believes that, I want to hear from you.
I've
We-
seen
dang
that
it.
movie a lot. Giving it a 5 stars is, well, beyond generous,
You
honestly.
know, I barely admit I watched it twice. I had to do it to Ryan,
got
so
it
I
beat.
sat through it again.
I gotta be. I
Apparently
saw
it
it in
spoke to somebody.
theaters.
Is my point.
So, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, Cool World! I'm gonna have flashbacks from that movie.
Okay, hold on. And for you folks out there that we were going with Banshee, yes, we've discussed it. We're gonna actually move on because. And if you guys want to write us hate mail about it, Ryan and I still love Banshee. We're all caught up, so go ahead, throw it at us, whatever. Bitch.
Well, look, basically what we're planning on doing is, instead of going through an entire season of a show, we're going to do basically the first episode of
Pilots.
pretty much any new show that we can get our hands on, letting you, the viewer, know if it's even worth checking out.
There you go. And Banshee is worth checking out.
Fantasy is worth continuing watching if folks are into it. Keep into it.
If you're not, that's fine.
Especially
Go
if
ahead
you
and watch
like
Burn Notice.
Especially if you like sex scenes in the first episode.
There's only like 5, 4.
I mean, guys, look there. I mean, you could always go watch like Matlock or something. That's fine.
Oh, why don't you just bust out Diagnosis Murder? I mean, come on.
I'm sure their PBS is still playing Murder, She Wrote.
So the
And Reading Rainbow.
next week's
It's on
pick-
Netflix now.
Next week's pick is Ryan's pick, and let's just get this train off the rails. It's already completely over. Ryan, what movie are you picking?
All the shit I just talked about our geriatric friends out there who still like Matlock. I apologize. You're gonna like me in a second because I'm totally changing gears from the debt. And it's a movie that I actually wanted to force my girlfriend to watch. Is the original Pink Panther.
Nice.
Peter
Nice.
Sellers. It's the second Peter Sellers movie.
Okay,
Nice.
so next
we got picked.
next week we're
but
doing.
it's such a specific kind of slapstick that Peter Sellers does in that movie, and I really do think it's worth revisiting.
Wow, that's
And it's I'm trying to remember 1960. Hold on, I gotta look. This 1963. This movie was made.
I
David
gotta say,
Niven and
Almost
Peter
at
Sellers.
62. I couldn't remember.
I gotta say that's one hell of a dizzy switch going from the debt to the original Pink Panther. And with that being said, I gave the movie The Debt a 4 out of 5. James gave it a 5 out of 5. Ryan gave it a 4 out of 5. Next week is the Pink Panther, and Ryan says you should watch Cruel World. And as always, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Shoot yourself in the face.